So we are all aware about the upcoming Uncharted 4 A Thief's End, which could be the last title of the franchise, unfortunately. But what about its prequels? Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, and Drake's Deception is some of the games that symbolize PlayStation 3. Now you can only play these three games if you have a PlayStation 3, and there is a lot of people out there who haven't played it at all. This is where the debated topic appears. Is it possible that Naughty Dog will remaster all three games onto the PlayStation 4 before the launch of Uncharted 4? Well, Sony President Shuhei Yoshida stated the following in an interview. Almost 50% of people who have purchased a PS4 did not own a PS3, and that is lots of people that miss exclusive PS3 titles like The Last of Us, so it is a great way to welcome those back to PlayStation saying, this is what you missed. There are requests from some consumers for games that were released later in this generation like Uncharted, which people might have missed. That would be a good candidate. So, Shuhei Yoshida unsurprisingly was all in for the idea of remastering Uncharted. Responding to those comments, Naughty Dog community manager Arnie Meyer acknowledged that remastering the series would be great, but the actual act of doing so depends on plenty of variables behind the scenes. He stated the following: "It would be nice, it is always nice to find ways to try and expand your audience. I do not know how we'd ever pull that off, but I don't want to say we wouldn't do it. I think if everything aligns, we should make an attempt to look into it and do it as well." Despite the difficulty of porting the series, imagining Nathan Drake's initial trilogy powered by the PlayStation 4 is understandably exciting. Since the first Uncharted title launched 7 years ago, a combination package of the games for Sony next generation console would certainly make it easier for fans who haven't jumped into the series to do so. And the fact that almost 50% of the PlayStation 4 owners didn't get the chance to play them. Now, a few months ago, Naughty Dog released the remasterization of last year's game of the year, The Last of Us. Naughty Dog is also currently working on Uncharted 4, probably more DLC for The Last of Us factions, and a sequel, probably named The Last of Us 2. Would it be too much for Naughty Dog to render these three games onto the PlayStation 4? They have 250 employees, so if you ask me, it could be a reality. Now, the PlayStation 3 was also known for the ports of classic PlayStation games, to name some: God of War, Sly Cooper, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, etc. As such, it seems unpreventable that Sony would employ a similar strategy going into the latest hardware cycle. However, no other series is perhaps more deserving of the PS4 treatment than Naughty Dog's Uncharted. Now, would it be a bad thing or a good thing to release a trilogy for the Uncharted franchise on the PlayStation 4? Let's cut down some predictions and facts here. Now, one of the predictions here is that one of the cons with remasters, specifically standalone titles, is that they're often positioned near the price of a full retail game. However, with Uncharted, you'll get three classics games for a single price, and we cannot imagine Sony asking for anything more than $49.99 for a potential collection of Nathan Drake's PS3 adventures. Furthermore, you wouldn't only be getting the single-player games, but the Uncharted 2 and 3 come packaged with a full-fledged multiplayer component, which Sony will no doubt continue to support. In my eyes, that is almost too cheap. All three Uncharted games, Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, and Drake's Deception, were noted for packing some truly gorgeous visuals at the time of their release, especially Uncharted 3, which really squeezed some serious juice out of the aging PS3. However, looking back with a critical eye, the first two games in particular would highly benefit from a bit of spit and polish courtesy of PlayStation 4. Smoothing out the graphics, upping the resolution, and adding a silky smooth 60 frames per second would do wonders for Uncharted, while the sequel's majestic landscape and high-octane set pieces would look fantastic with the benefit of a PS4 makeover. Uncharted may have sold millions of copies around the globe, but PS3 has an 80 million plus user base. So there is still a stack of gamers out there who haven't soaked up even one of Drake's wisecracking adrenaline-fueled adventures. Now, as pointed out by Naughty Dog's On Mayer as explained earlier, an Uncharted Trilogy remaster would be ideal for attracting stakers who haven't ever played any of the Uncharted games, or even own a PS3 at all for that matter of case. In fact, that is the target group that Sony will no doubt be fixing its crosshairs on if they do decide to release a PS4 powered package of Uncharted games. Of course, those of us who want to experience the trilogy all over again with a spot of 1080p makeup will be more than willing to plunk down our cash, but the real money is going to come from those who have yet to find out what all the fuss is about. Now, Uncharted has quickly established itself as one of the most successful franchises available on the PlayStation brand. Its marriage of high-octane combat, exotic locations, eyeball-popping graphics, and blood-pumping set pieces has endeared it to gamers of all generations. It's a multi-million selling franchise, and Sony knows it. With Uncharted 2 and 3 remaining some of the most highly rated games on Metacritic, the series is the best example of a AAA product and stands shoulder to shoulder with the likes of other third-person juggernauts such as Gears of War, Resident Evil, God of War. And if there's any franchise that warrants the 1080p 60 frames per second treatment on PlayStation 4 based purely on critical acclaim and sales alone, then you will be hard pressed to find a better example than Uncharted. Now the potential conclusion of Uncharted 4 is coming next year, so what better way to whet our appetites than a spruced up version of the original trilogy is there? Naughty Dog doesn't exactly need to generate hype for Uncharted. The brand name alone is powerful enough to see that to itself, but offering remastered version of some of the PS3's finest action adventure video games for newcomers to catch up on, or current fans to enjoy with a fresh coat of paint, would ensure excitement for a Thieves' End. So there is actually only good things about this. Now, for the big questions, is it possible? Are Naughty Dog remastering the games right now? If they are not, then you won't see it because it is too late to start now. Now, what I think that this is in current development, yes. Because why not? Why the hell not? Now, last question. If this is going to happen, then when will it come out? I doubt that it will be in 2014, since no confirms on this has appeared. I believe that it will be announced in December and released in February. The Sly Collection was announced in June 2010 and released in October, just 4 months. But I guess we just have to wait and see. For now, it is just rumors and speculations. Stay tuned for more Uncharted news.